Today we are making 2-ingredient bagels. Now, if you are from the East Coast, I'm not claiming these to be true bagels, but we're gonna get close, I think. Either way, maybe it's a good alternative. So to start, we're gonna preheat our oven to 350 and we're going to get out a large baking sheet and line it with parchment paper. Set that pan aside, and here in my large mixing bowl, I have 1 3/4 cup of self-rising flour. Now, it's very important that it's self-rising flour and not just plain all-purpose flour. Even bread flour, it needs to be self-rising flour, and at the end of this video, I'll refer you on how you can actually make it yourself. But to our self-rising flour, we're going to add 1 cup of Greek yogurt, and just mix that all together until it comes together into a ball of dough. I'm gonna get in here with my hands. If it is too dry, it's winter where I'm at right now when I'm recording this, and so if it remains too dry and it doesn't come together, I'll add an extra tablespoon of Greek yogurt, but let's just see first. Your hands are often some of the best kitchen tools. And you don't want it to be too wet either. You want to be able to handle it, because from here we're going to form it right into a bagel shape. Now, as I keep kneading it, it's come together. So once you get your dough together into a ball, go ahead and flour a clean surface that you can work with your dough a little bit more. I'm gonna put a little bit of flour on top, and I'm gonna knead it until I get it together into a nice ball. And this shouldn't take too long, maybe a minute. So once you get yourself a nice ball, we're going to cut him into 4. I'm gonna cut it in half, and then in half again. You could use a bench scraper for this, or a knife, but your hand will do. And I'm going to clean my surface off so I can bring my baking sheet back and not have flour all over the bottom. So you can roll your dough ball into a rope and then curve it into a loop. I'm just going to poke a hole in the middle of mine. I see. No, maybe he was right. Just kinda, you can do this on your flat surface, but since I've already cleaned my surface, I'm going to do it in the air. Now, I want my bagel to maintain its hole in the middle, so you're gonna wanna make the hole a little bigger than you think is necessary, and then put it on your tray here. Now, if you're familiar with bread and bread dough and gluten, the more you knead your dough, the more gluten you're going to build, and that gives more of a chew. And if you compare bread to a bagel, bagels have more of a chew to them. So if you want to take a little bit of extra time and knead your bagels, that might improve the texture of them, and it may bring them just a little bit closer to the texture of a true bagel. Okay, now we're not done yet. Don't put them in the oven quite yet. We're gonna jazz up our bagels a little bit. And if you're going to put seeds or some sort of seasoning on top of your bagels, you're really going to want to put either an egg wash, a whole egg, egg white, egg yolk on the top just to help the seasoning or the seeds stick. You can also use just water or milk to just get things to stick. An egg wash is going to help give you that goldenness on the outside of your bagel, and it might help seal the outside and give you that little bit of a crust that bagels have. So I recommend not just getting the tops, but getting the outsides. Brush your egg wash or milk or water onto the outside of your bagel and get the inside as well. You don't want to drown the bagel because the egg, especially using an egg wash, you'll have some scrambled egg when you bring your bagels out of the oven, and that's not what we're going for. And then you can use the rest of your egg wash for breakfast tomorrow morning. And then I am not the biggest fan of an everything bagel, but I have an everything bagel seasoning, and I think it would look really nice for the pictures, if I'm being honest. And it's something that you might like. So if I can find this bagel seasoning on Amazon, I'll be sure to link it down below, because I know a lot of people are a fan of it. It just brings a lot of flavor. So you can use plain poppy seeds, plain sesame seeds, a little bit of garlic or onion powder, maybe a little bit of cheese. These are, I think this is like a blank slate recipe that you could work other ingredients into. So we're gonna go ahead and pop these into our preheated oven, 350 degrees, for 20 to 22 minutes or until they're golden brown. Look at these beautiful bread circles. So mine ended up baking for 28 minutes, but that might be a my oven problem. Definitely start with 20 to 22 like the recipe says. So we are supposed to let these cool completely, if you can stand the wait. I am going to let them sit for about a half hour before we give them a taste test, but they look and smell delicious. Okay, let us give these bagels a taste test. They have cooled, if you can wait that long. Let's see. Okay, there's a little bit of a crust on there. They don't completely just crumble and break apart. So I did not need these super long, like I was talking about the gluten, but regardless, they still have a nice chew to them, a nice texture. And with this everything bagel seasoning, I actually think it's really good. And I'm imagining a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich on one of these bagels. That is delicious sounding. So how easy were those to make? Are they 2-ingredient bagels? Technically they're at least 3, mine are 4, but you get the gist of it, and so much cheaper to make at home. And if you're trying to avoid additives to your foods, this is a great idea. And it's just a fun, easy recipe to make by yourself, with someone else. If you would try to make these bagels at home, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe for more content, more delicious recipes. And if you're looking for another delicious bread recipe, go ahead, click right here on screen, and I'll see you guys there.